what's up guys? Holding Alice with you here, bringing you that time I got reincarnated as a slime anime review, episode 4. It begins with, our main character, Rimuru, on his wolf pack and some goblins with them. And they go into the city, and they're trying to go to the city of dwarves. And they have to pass by Amen River. They have to pass by some mountains and more rivers and some fields. And they going on this traveling. And while they're traveling there, they make a pit stop, getting some rest. And it was late at night. And it's funny because one of the goblins told, our main character, Rimuru, about how the city is not just dwarves, but you have humans, dwarves, and elves and other races. And Rimuru, when he heard elves, he started thinking of like hentai elves, and he just enjoying himself in his little fantasy in his head. And it's funny because like the other goblins, that are there, are looking at him like, master, and he's like, what? And he snaps out of it. It took him a while, but he snapped out of his little fantasy with elves. So I can't blame him for that because elf chicks are awesome, but in fantasy, period. But it's just funny to see him, act like that. He's a slime, but he still gets googie for females, especially elves. So that was kind of funny to see. Then the next morning they continue and finally get there. But when they get there, they have to wait in line because everyone gets checked before they go into the city. And these two guys try to say, basically discriminate against them. Like, oh, you're monsters. You shouldn't be here. Your weakness should leave. And Rimuru just went in with one of the goblins, the one that was his guide. I believe his name is Remu. And he got beat up before because, goblins are weak, so people pick on him. Which is funny because then you think of Goblin Slayer and the goblins from Sword Art Online that we've seen in these past recent episodes, and you think a couple of months back to Overlord, you think of those goblins as like, oh, those goblins were OP. Then you see the goblins here is like, what a difference. But it's just funny. But Rimuru told him, you remember the rules that I told you? Number 1, he's like, yeah, no attacking humans. He said, good. Cover your ears and close your eyes and look the other way. So after he told him that, he went up to the humans, and Rimuru told him, leave or face my wrath. And the humans laughed at him and was like, you're just a slime, you're nothing. And he was like, ugh, these stupid people. And they go to attack him, and he turns into a wolf. He uses mimicry. But these characters were actually pretty smart, and they're actually able to tell that he just used mimicry. And they had a posse with them, and they all attacked. One used fireball, one used like a wall magic. The other guy used to do this husky wave axe at him. And then the two original guys he was fighting, one had to dual daggers and did this X cut towards him, and then the other guy had a regular sword and did a Mihawk type slash wave at him. All these moves just bounced off the fur, didn't do no damage, and they were all shocked. Then removing that form, used menace. Problem is, he forgot the side effect of menace, and some people got scared and left the area. Some people just got petrified and fell unconscious, and it's a lot of bad things happened. Luckily, there was no death, but a lot of bad other things happened, and he got arrested, and so did his goblin friend that was with him, who was his guide, and they locked up, getting questioned and stuff like that. And the guy questioning them, he gets to this one point where he's like, okay, I heard your story, and it matches up with the reports. So he was going to let him go the next morning, but then something happens. 3 guys came in, and 2 girls came in, and told the dwarf chief that basically people were hurt in an accident in the mines, and they need potions, but they can't get potions because of a situation that's going on, and the potions that they would have is somewhere else. So, and the slime is overhearing this, so he does something super funny. Being a slime, he slits through the bars and breaks out And he taps the guy on the shoulder, and the guy freaks out like, "Hey, you're not supposed to be outside your jail cell." And he's like, "Look what I made you." And they had him contained in a barrel, a regular barrel, whatever, because he's a slime. That barrel is now full of liquid, and that liquid is high-level magic potion. He said you either apply it directly on the wound or make them drink it, either or. And he was like, and the two guards were skeptical, didn't want to trust him, but the chief was like, "Well, you're not a bad guy, so I guess I trust you for now." And he took the whole barrel and left to help the guys, but he told the slime to stay in his cage. And Vermouth was like, "Okay, I stay in my cage. You seem like a good guy who cares about your friends." And then, the next morning, they got released, and we seen the three guys that got hurt. They all thanked him for the potion, and they were showing their arms and legs and stuff where they were scarred at, and how there's no more scars and stuff, and how they, completely healed. So, they were all thanking him. Then he told the main guard, "Hey, do you know a blacksmith that you can take me to?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, I know the best one in town. I'll take you to him." And he takes him there, and then we find out that the three guys that he helped, when he took them to the blacksmith, were actually workers and friends of the blacksmith. So he gets on his he sits down Indian style, and he bows and he thanks the slime for helping out his friends. And we also find out that the chief of the prison cell is his brother, a younger brother. So yeah, the blacksmith and the jailer are both brothers. The blacksmith is older, the other one is younger, and the other three are just close friends. But it was nice to see how they were all related, and by him doing this one good deed, how it's spread to his benefit. But then the blacksmith was in trouble as well, and he helped him out. The trouble with the blacksmith was he needed to make a certain amount of swords, I believe 20, for some king who was going to go to war. And he told him that's impossible because the mining orbs, we don't have them. We're having problems because they're dealing with these animals called armor services. I guess they dinosaurs with battle armor, I guess, just by their name. But they didn't get to show those monsters yet, so hopefully we see them next episode. But because of them, it's hard for them to mine out the orbs. And the slime is hearing this, and he's like, "Wait a minute, didn't I eat some?" So what he did was he spit out a pure one, super pure, known as Magic Steel Orb. And what he needed was Magic Orb, but this is Magic Steel Orb, which is like a very, very, very pure version of it and stronger. So he was like, "Wow, this is awesome," and stuff. And everybody was amazed. But then another problem occurred, the fact that he only had 4 to 5 days to make 20 swords, and it would be time consuming, and he probably won't make the deadline, even though he finally has the material. And the slime, again, kicks in with his OP power, and he's like, "Let me see your sword." They showed it to him. He devoured it. He analyzed it. He learned his specs and materials and what he needed. And he had them because, he was eating mostly everything and everyone when he was down there in that cellar. He gained a lot of knowledge on EXP and experience. Not to mention the things that he stored in his stomach. So he helped out the guy, and he made 20 of those magical swords that he ate. So they were super grateful. And then finally, the slime got his reward. Besides the fact that the blacksmith told him, "Oh yeah, I help you get somebody who could go to your village, who's an artist that can, help with the clothing and the house and stuff like that." He took him out to a party, and they went to the Butterfly Night. Which Butterfly Night, it's basically like I won't say a brothel, but it's a place full of females where you can just hang out, chill, and drink. And he took him there, and he was happy because they were all elves. And when he went in there, he just flipped out, And it's funny because you would think since he's a slime, the girls would be like, "Ew, disgusting, blah, blah, blah." But they actually, when he stepped in, they all fell in love with him. And they were all hugging him and kissing him and rubbing their chests on him. And they're all busty chicks. And he's like, "This is what it feels like to be in a woman's bosom." And he was all happy and blushing. And every one of the blacksmith actually was the one who stated, for someone who didn't want to come, "You look pretty happy." And he was like, and he just turned away, trying to ignore it. But it was just funny seeing that. seeing how everybody loves him and he's getting all this love from the elves, and it was just funny because it's a slime. So it's something that you didn't expect, but it was pretty good. But then it ends off with him saying, "Good times don't last, sadly, long." And when he said that, they showed outside, and somebody had stomped on the ground. We don't know who because we just see like one leg, but whoever this person is most likely going to cause trouble in the butterfly end. So, but that was the last part of the episode. Last clip. I have to admit, I'm loving the anime opening and ending for this, and the music and the animation and stuff and the artwork. I'm loving everything about it so far, and it's pretty good. I actually want to get into the light novel now of it in the manga. I'll probably purchase it. But really good episode. If you haven't watched it, I advise you to watch it. If you already watched it, watch it again. Great episode. I can't wait to see what happened next episode. Who that person was outside. You're probably gonna have to fight him again. But we have a very OP character. But what makes it funny is that he's a slime, so it's like you don't really expect much from a slime. I mean, the top 3 weakest creatures in fantasy are usually goblins, slimes, and what you call those things? Mimics. Excuse me, I'm so sick. But good. Like I said, this is just funny. It's having an overpowered anime. MC that's a slime, but awesome at the same time. So can't wait to see what occurs next. But yeah, this is all I have for y'all today, guys. It just come out late. Sorry about that. I've been doing a lot of double shifts at my job, so a lot of my videos have been coming out late. So, but yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can get that noti of when I post up stuff. And see you on the next one. Peace.